there tonight is between Richmond and the running top Australian team is Norwood. These two sides actually did clash pre-season and it did result in fact in a win to Norwood. However, the side does look a little bit different tonight. They have been hit quite hard by a number of injuries. Richmond very keen to do well. They've had a disastrous year in the VFL competition. In fact, it's the worst season they've had for just on 20 years. For the respective team changes, let's go down to the dressing rooms and out onto the ground. Jack Edwards and Stephen Phillips.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. Well, you're dead right. Richmond have had about their worst season in about 20 years of football. But this side tonight has been picked to win. There's no doubts about that. Only Roach, Waitman and Bartlett out of the side that played on Saturday. They weren't victorious, of course, against Melbourne. But they're very keen to do well this evening. And the Richmond team going out on the ground now. Only a few changes, as I said, from last Saturday's game. The side's completely as selected, I've been notified. So that's what I can tell you from the Richmond rooms. But I believe you me, Norwood's going to have a hard time tonight. Let's hear about that from Stephen Phillips.
Thanks, Jack. Well, the Norwood cause might be made a little easier with the good news they received this afternoon. Their champion half-forward Neville Roberts, who's kicked 51 goals this season, is back in the side. He's leading the side out at the moment, getting a pretty good reception here from this Melbourne crowd. But Roberts was injured on Saturday, has had hip troubles, but with 51 goals lies second, I believe, on the South Australian goal-kicking list, and yet Norwood, the reigning premiers over in South Australia, have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Roberts is raring to go. He's one to watch. Back to you, Peter.
Right, thank you, Stephen. The umpires for tonight's match, by the way, are from Victoria, Rowan Soares, and from South Australia, Des Foster. Richmond and Norwood will be back for the first quarter in the Sterling Cup after this message. Back to VFL Park, and the match just about to get underway. Not quite ready for us yet, so it gives us a chance to introduce Bob Skilton. Good evening, Robert.
And good evening, Peter. How are you tonight?
Very well, thank you. But a very mild night, isn't it?
Yes, there's, judging by the curtain raiser tonight, we should have a fine standard game because we haven't got that dampness on the ground that we often find in games like this. And Richmond's interchange Egan and Foley.
Yes, it was only a point the difference in the curtain raiser, and we'll give you the scores at half-time.
Bit of bad luck for Norwood. They've lost, 10 players from the last time they played against Footscray and did so well, Peter.
Half the side, isn't it?
Well, still their tries, and Barn would know a little bit about this Richmond side. Francis Burke biting the nails before the game starts.
So the first quarter from VFL Park. Norwood, Richmond, fourth quarter final in the Sterling Cup. Beautiful bounce. Knocked away by Lee. Now it comes towards half-forward. A chance for Schmal. Knock on by Jimmy Jess. And Schmal is well caught there, down there for the Tigers by Wall. Play on, and the goal coming up here if he's accurate and putting it through is Tempany. Well, it's a good start by Bruce Tempany because he's had a lot of bad luck, hasn't he?
And Tempany selected tonight to play on the half-forward flank. Is lined up in the forward pocket with Strawn going to centre-half forward. We watch again on replay. Small losing possession of the ball. It's tapped forward, and Tempany having all the time in the world to dribble that ball through. But Strawn to centre-half forward, Winton to centre-half back, Foley onto the bench.
Back into the centre. Big Ferring, of course, used to play for St Kilda and also Geelong. Lee, Rioli. Torpedo punt up towards Jimmy Jess, who takes a fine mark, and Jess could kick this. 50 metres out, directly in front. And look at the kick. A mammoth punt, right up to the goal line. Schmal again. This time goes for the hand pass, trying to find Noble. And unfortunately for him, it dribbles out of bounds, away from his hands. And we'll see a throw-in for Richmond, left forward pocket. Delightful night for football. The mildest June evenings we've had in Melbourne for a long time. Strawn doing battle with Ferring. It comes out to McIntosh. Menzel is there. And getting caught with the ball out there is Michael Aish. He's on the bottom of the stack up, number 8. And we'll see a ball up.
Wearing a helmet tonight because he received concussion and go over there in Western Australia in the state game for South Australia.
Well, he played knocked out by Ferring. It comes across to Adler, a short kick back there now. And we see Richmond go back into attack. The ball driven down there towards the wing position. And finally, there's a chance for a goal from Landy. Lands in the goal stretch. Nearly a goal, this one, but touched on the line by Ferring and through for 1 point. So the Tigers are now 1 goal, 7 points to Norwood yet to score. Warhurst to kick off. It's a bit of a shame that Norwood have lost so many players because they put up a great performance against Footscray in the early part of the Sterling Cup. Ball back out there towards that Big Fairing knocks the ball down, tries to gather it again, gets a hand pass out to Keith Thomas. Keith Thomas for Norwood drives it back there towards that wing position. It's punched on again. There's a go now for the Tigers to come back into play. A long hand pass coming back there to Preston on his own. Goes for the hand pass wide to Wiley. Richmond looking very good at the moment. That's a long kick over the half-forward line. Wall's there. The ball finally punched towards the line, and it's out of bounds. About 60 metres around from that Richmond goal. It was Warhurst.
Smile coming off the ground. That's why I think Neil Barnes on the phone.
Neil Barnes has pulled one player off already. The ball knocked back there.
He's injured, Lou.
Landy gets a hand pass, misdirected that time, looking that time for Kane, and the ball is out of bounds. Still about 50 metres around from that Richmond goal. Smile going off the ground. It's a bit of bad luck because he played so well the last time he was over here. Umpires found a free kick. It'll go to McIntosh, and if we can recall McIntosh playing here last time, Bob, he was a real star in the centre.
He was in everything, wasn't he?
Yes, he's a great player.
I think you said Melbourne had their eyes on him, didn't you, Bob? Was it Melbourne?
I think it's North Melbourne.
North Melbourne. Well, they would have been pretty happy with that effort. Once again, a free kick. It's going to Norwood. Number 27 is Gallagher, and it looks as though it's going to be his free kick. Left half-back flank.
Keith Thomas is Melbourne's man, number 7.
That explains why Ray Manley's out here then. And the umpire has found a free kick. Taken by Wiley. Wiley from right half-back flank brings the ball back towards the centre. Rollings is there with Menzel. Menzel just trying to get the ball out to a teammate. Not successful. It's going to be a free kick, though. It will be taken out there for them by Renfrey. Coming onto the ground is Vardenigan, number 41. Ball up towards half-forward now for Norwood. Knocked away by Murray. A hand pass comes out. Here's a chance for them to score, and it's Greg Thomas having a shot at goal, and he's put it through for one behind, I think. That's their first score of the night. Coming up at the 4.5-minute mark of the opening term, and so Richmond 7, Norwood 1, a difference of 6 points. Winner of this match to play Hawthorn in a semi-final of this very rich series. Ball driven back into play by Murray. Lee in front, has it knocked away by Big Fairing. Handball, direction of Rioli. Rioli from right centre wing. Down towards Jimmy Jess. A chance for Noble. Tempany is there. He kicked the Tigers' first goal. Noble trying to get the ball towards the boundary line. Successful eventually. And once again, we'll see a boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket for the Tigers at the 5-minute mark of the first term. Jimmy Jess to contest the ruck duels with Keith Thomas, number 7. At the back is Adler, number 16. Knocked down by Jess. A wild hand pass comes out. Rioli is first to get there. That could have almost been a throw. A snapshot for goal by Wiley. Up towards full forward, and a good mark taken by Noble. He plays on. Gets it back up towards centre field, and Norwood out of the danger zone. Very slippery out there nevertheless. Vardeniga, who just came on. A wild hand pass again over the top. A chance for Preston. It's picked up for the Tigers by Wall, and his kick is long down to full forward.
Up there towards Jimmy Jess. The ball is tapped out by Warhurst. Coming in to meet it now, we find Norwood go back into attack over their half-forward line. That was Thomas kicking the ball up there. That was Keith Thomas. A fumble that time by Lockman. And finally, it's Vardeniga getting it now with another hand pass coming out to Neagle. There's a chance now for Roberts to drive them right forward now, but he's well tackled. A beautiful tackle coming over there from Palm. Umpire said it'll be in the back.
Oh.
Well, I don't know about that.
It was held well after he got rid of the ball, Lou, so it was actually a good decision.
OK, we'll go along with the triple Brownlow medalist there. So it's Roberts to take the free kick about 55 metres out from goal. Oh, he's gone for a bad pass. And it's finally intercepted, and the ball driven back there towards that wing position now. Vardeniga dropped the mark, and a chance now for Strawn to get a hand pass out, but he was grabbed by the foot, and the umpire will pay the free kick to Strawn there on the wing position. That's a long kick looking for Jimmy Jess in the front position. Taps the ball down nicely to Wiley. Wiley's trying to get clear. Renfrey's there too, trying to get it away for Norwood. But Warhurst with Wiley's having a great battle, and the umpire will ball it up about 45 metres out from the Tiger goal. They're 1 goal, 7 points to Norwood 1 point. Just on 7 minutes gone of the first quarter. Fairing got that knockout. Vardeniga again. He's grabbed, he's getting clear of the pack. It's a short one back there towards Rioli. He's grabbed, goes down. The ball comes out now to Scanlon. Tripped. Umpire says play on. He ducks his head. It might have been Gallagher that time, was it? So the free kick going to Wall. It was Gallagher. So it's Wall driving the ball high back there towards the full forward position. Fairing at the back has juggled the mark, then fumbled. Noble knocks it on. Scanlon goes after it again, plays it safe and forces it through for 1 point. So the Tigers move on to 1 goal to 8 points to Norwood 1 point only at the 7.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
And we wait for the ball to come back into play. Warhurst favours the outer side. Good kick. Ferring jostling for position. Can't take the mark. Richmond players doing everything right so far. Preston just tried to do a little bit too much with the ball. Has been free kick for holding it. And the free kick going to McIntosh. McIntosh on right half-back flank. Up the centre field. Mark almost taken out there by Button. Winton, number 42. Here's a go for them now. It is picked up out there by Menzel. A long shot at goal in towards the 10-metre square, and it rolls through for 1 behind. So 2 points to Norwood. Richmond 1 goal 2. Still a difference of 6 points. Murray. Button. Knocked away by Jep. Stolen by Button. He's given a hand pass out, trying to find Roberts, which he does. Mark taken by Winton. Winton at left half-back. Strawn couldn't take it one hand. In fact, he's pushed his opponent in the back. Now it's going to Richmond, the free kick. Mervyn Kane, left centre wing. Up to half forward, trying to find Wiley. He got one a little bit too high and runs straight into Renfrey. No damage done. Wiley at half forward decides to play on. Long handball. That's effective. Picked up by Malthouse. Malthouse could just about score. Jess, good use of the body, but he got himself into a little bit of bother in the end. A free kick for holding the man. And it will be taken for Norwood by their little rover in Menzel. And you can't mistake him.
I think he's got the lemon rinse through the hair at the moment. Oh, there's a good mark taken that time by Keith Thomas, and a 15-metre penalty against Rioli, but the umpire says play on as he goes for a long kick out there towards the wing position. Palm gave Neagle one in the back, and Neagle will take that free kick out there on the centre wing position. So the Tigers are 1 goal to 8 points to Norwood 2 points just on the 10-minute mark. Ball back there towards that half-forward line, but the free kick going out there now to Jep. Jep with a long hand pass. It'll be okay. The Landy gets a hand pass back. It's Malthouse. No, it was Murray. It was over to Malthouse at centre field. And Strawn coming in, slides along the ground and takes the mark. He's about in between the centre of the ground and centre half forward. There's a hand pass over to Winton. A long kick down towards the forward pocket. Warhurst coming out to meet it. Juggles the ball nicely down there in the back pocket. Goes for a long kick out there looking for Thomas, but it's punched away again and the ball is out of bounds. That was good play on the part of Strawn that time for the Tigers. So the ball is out of bounds about 45 metres around from the Richmond goal. They're 8 points to Norwood yet to score a goal. 2 behinds on the board. Knocked out by Fairing. Finds a chance now for Thomas to get it over there. That's Renfrey going for a long hand pass to Gallagher, back to Menzel. Menzel with a hand pass out now to Greg Thomas, scooting away from his opponent very nicely, but not a good kick. It's a very high one. And there's a good mark in defence by Landy. At centre half back, boots it out towards the wing position. There's Andy Preston to take the mark on his own. Not very much opposition coming that time as he gets it over to Wall. Wall with a long kick back there towards Jess. Warhurst went for the punch. There's a go now for Scanlon to pick it up, but he's grabbed by Kane. Down he goes, but he won't give in. Finally, it's kicked off the ground by Kane, and it's through for a goal. It's gone, and in the score, Richmond 2 goals, 2-14 to Norwood, 2 points only.
Goals by Tempany and Kane have got the Tigers off to a good start. Wiley hooks it up towards right half forward flank, and the mark is taken out there for Richmond by Barry Rawlings, who plays on. Looking for Jess. Not in a good position. Jess comes down with the ball. Warhurst had it first. And the Tiger player in Wall throwing himself into the pack. Knocked down by Jess. Norwood get out of danger, momentarily at least, but Barry Rawlings is there to take another mark at right half forward. Again playing on pretty well straight away. This time the pass is good. It's taken by Wiley. Off the side of the boot. Rolfe and Thomas. Well, Rolfe grabbed when not in possession, and he'll take the free kick. Long to the 10-metre square. Ferring Oh, almost took the mark, Jess. In fact, the umpire has paid it.
I think he paid that for effort that time, didn't he?
Yes, I think so. It was worth the effort, I think.
So let's have a look at it again. Yeah, it's not a bad
No,
grab.
I'd have paid it.
The hand pass comes out to Gallagher to the half-forward line. Jep doesn't get a nice bounce. Aish traps the ball beautifully. Hand pass is effective as well. Norwood go into attack again. Gallagher making good position downfield, but couldn't take the mark. Michael Annie got tripped up. Gallagher again seems to be everywhere. Snaps it back towards goal. Could even bounce through. Landy will get there, will he? And he's content to take it through for one behind. But Norwood, that's their third of the quarter. 2-2 to 3 points. Malthouse has the kicking in this time. And the mark taken by Lockman in front of his teammate Lee. Lockman between back flank and back pocket. Malthouse. High towards centre field. Knocked down again to Rawlings. Here go the Tigers once more. Rawlings a short pass to Jimmy Jess. This is making position well, but he can't take the marks. Good smother after Kane's kick was hitting goalwards and taking it out of bounds as Scanlon.
And we're just over the 14-minute mark. Richmond still 2 goals, 2-14 to Norwood yet to score a goal. 3 behinds on the board. It's out of bounds about 45 metres around from the Richmond goal. Fairing got the tap down. Going through nicely is Kane. A hand pass to Wild. Another one coming over to Rioli. There we see Renfrey got into his back, and I think he'll get a free kick, Rioli. And he'll only be about, let me see, 30 metres out from goal, if that.
Without the boot.
Oh, yeah, minus a boot.
Well, we saw Barry Round kick a goal without a boot on Sunday, but at least it wasn't his kicking boot, was it?
That's often an advantage to Barry.
Speak of Bob Skilton, Barry Round, if you're listening in. One of your old teammates. The shot now from Rioli. He's kicked it with the boot off, and it's worked out that way too, because it's a point. So the Tigers are now 2 goals, 3-15 to Norwood, still yet to score a goal, 3 points. Just over the 15-minute mark of this first quarter of the fourth quarter final of the Sterling Cup. Well, there's big money at stake now. You win this, you go into the semi-final, and you start heading for the big dough. As we see Strawn backing out of the attack. That was a pretty smart kick, but well intercepted by Scanlon. Ball pushed back there again by Kane. Well, there was a throw out. It comes out to Rioli. He's grabbed, gets a hand pass back. There's a chance now for Wall, I think it is. And he may have put it through for a goal. Well, that was a nice goal, Bob.
It certainly was, Lou, and Rioli showing that you don't take any notice of the loss of one boot, because while there was any play around it all, he ignored the trainer who was trying to get to him to give him his boot, and it was Rioli who was vitally responsible in getting that ball out there to Matthew Wall, and what a great snap it was by Wall.
Well, Richmond off to a very good start in this opening term. 3 quick goals. McIntosh breaks clear. McIntosh to Gallagher. Up to full forward, trying to find Michael Annie. Malthouse recovers best. Hooks it from mid-air. Aish tries to beat 2 opponents. Fairing, well caught. Back to Gallagher. Will probably be their leading possession gatherer. Out it comes and turned towards Neagle. Up to full forward again. 2 on 1. That's a fine mark. And Roberts playing on has put it through for a goal.
Yeah, well, Murray standing there arguing. Certainly Roberts' mark all the way out. Manoeuvred the 2 of them beautifully, Bob.
Yes, well, Neville Roberts, an ex-Richmond player, of course, formerly from West Torrens, and a very experienced player, and he's kicked a lot of goals. If you watch again, McIntosh in the thick of things again, getting it out to Nagel. Nagel putting the ball up. Roberts in the middle of the pack, and, well, you know, it's no good mucking it around.
Well, Murray was arguing about it.
There's experience.
21-9 in the first quarter, which has been in progress 17 1/4 minutes. The umpire has found a free kick. It's going to Jeff Fairing. I remember that mammoth goal he kicked at St Kilda a few years back, and that's another beautiful kick by the Norwood ruckman. Up towards half forward, almost a mark. Menzel goes for the hand pass, trying to find Michael Annie, not successful. Plenty of Richmond defenders are there. No one making any headway. Back to Menzel. He's grabbed very quickly. A bounce about 35 metres out from goal.
It was about 10 bounced on him then.
He wasn't going to get clear there, was he?
Never had much chance.
Knocked down, trying to get in front as Rioli, not successful. Michael Annie scoops it out. going through solidly. Andy Preston, traditionally with the socks down, back to McIntosh. Roberts again, snapshot for goal, into the 10-metre square. Didn't bounce the right way. Murray is there, trying to pick it up. So too is Jess. Plenty of Richmond defenders. Into the goal square. Roberts, could be a goal. It is, 2 to Roberts.
Good goal.
Yes, well, Richard Murray tried to punch that through, but didn't make the distance, and it just shows that you must be definite about what you're doing down there. And we watch again on replay. Nagel overrunning it. So too Jess. Richard Murray getting the ball, but it hit somebody's boot, and Roberts just getting boot to ball before Winton could touch it. So 2 quick goals to Neville Roberts, and there may have been a doubt about his shoulder before the game, but he's certainly already proven his worth.
Just over the 18.5-minute mark of this first quarter, and Norwood doing well again as Rawlings gets that knockout. It's a hook kick back towards that wing position. Coming out to meet it now is McIntosh. Gets a hand pass back. There's a go now for Renfrey for a short pass. They're playing with a bit of confidence, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to McIntosh out there at half-back. That last goal was desperation football on the part of Norwood. Finally, it's Keith Thomas sending the ball back there to looking for Big Button. He got his hands to it. The umpire didn't pay the mark. It's Landy getting a hand pass out. And a chance now for... it was Palm trying to get it clear as they fumble down there again. The ball tapped out to Thomas again. Keith Thomas juggles it well, then loses it. The ball finally kicked up there by Winton for Richmond. Going towards the boundary line now. A bit of a struggle going on between Strawn and Noble, but the umpire will say it's out of bounds up towards the centre wing position. So it's 3 goals, 3-21, with Norwood doing a pretty good job at the moment, considering they've got 10 players out of their side, 2-3-15. Ball back into play, picked up from that knockout by Landy. Down it goes, and it's Foley taking the mark down there in the... Timpany, I should say, taking that mark down there and giving a hand pass over to Rioli. He goes for a wild hand pass because he was grabbed. And there's the siren as Scanlon picks up the ball. So at quarter time in the 4th quarter final of the Sterling Cup, it's Richmond 3 goals, 3-21 to Norwood 2-3-15.
1983, only South Australian side Norwood has progressed to the quarter-finals. Norwood, coached by former Richmond forward Neil Baum and inspired by Michael Aish and Neville Roberts, ended Footscray's hopes with a 16-point win on May the 10th. Tonight, Norwood has an excellent chance of moving a step closer to the grand final as it plays Richmond in the 1983 Sterling Cup, live on 7 Sport.
At centre half forward for the Tigers without doing a lot. And Graham Landy has the tagging job of picking up Michael Aish, and he certainly has kept Aish out of the game today.
Richmond lead by 6 points as we go into the second quarter. Fearing contesting the ruck duels for Norwood. Knocked down by Lee. Rioli. High to half forward. Going through solidly as Wall. And a lovely balk. Looking for Rioli again. Thomas is there. The umpire has found a free kick.
Thomas.
And in fact, it will go to Thomas. That's Keith Thomas. And he will take the free kick at centre half back.
He played very well the last time they played here, Pete. He's doing pretty well tonight again.
One of their best players against Footscray, yes. Lee at the back, fisted well clear into the open spaces. Again, trying to find Rioli. Beautifully knocked on to him by Wiley. He couldn't get clear. Aish picks the ball up. It will be a free kick for a high tackle. And Morris Rioli just short of half forward to take it. Play on. Out it comes to Landy again. Down towards Tempany, who kicked the Tigers' first goal tonight. And the ball beating him and also Lachlan. That's Trevor Lachlan's brother. Of course, Trevor was in the Norwood dressing room earlier this evening. Perhaps they could have used Trevor's talents on a cricket field over in England at the moment.
Well, Peter, of course, played many games with the Tigers, Pete.
And, of course, he got a bad injury here tonight. I remember one year he got hit by a sprinkler. Ball taken away by Lachlan. There was a rather nasty gash on his knee. Anyway, back to the match. It's Preston and Gallagher doing battle. The umpire says play on. Picked up beautifully by Preston. A short pass right down the throat of Wiley, who takes it in the right forward pocket.
I thought it could have been a free kick to Gallagher out there, Bob.
I thought it had to be, Lou.
Oh, golly. Hit him on the head.
So Robert Wiley about 35 metres out from goal. A fair angle. That's not a bad kick. And Wiley brings up one behind.
Well, we can't, I don't suppose Norwood can growl. It was a South Australian umpire giving the decision out there, just the same.
Speaker Lou Richards, 3-4 to 2-3. We're in the second quarter by a minute and a half.
Well, the difference now only 7 points. Norwood still doing a pretty good job considering they've had so many changes through injury. They've also lost their little star back pocket player, did so well the last time. That Smile Ball hits the deck again. Hand pass coming out to Big Fairing. Oh, that's a bad kick off the side of the boot. Actually went back towards Richmond's forward pocket. Now it's Greg Thomas grabbing the ball there on the boundary line. Coming in to meet it now is Neagle. Hand pass over to Fairing. Another hand pass coming back to Big Button. His kick is a long one over the half-forward line. Up there looking for a little Menzel, but Malthouse is too strong. It's the hand pass back to Jep. Jep boots right across towards centre-half back. Now there's a darn good mark taken there by Adler. Good mark at centre-half forward. They go back into attack now, looking for Roberts up there. Punched out by Jep. Hand pass coming over from Landy. Back to Jep again. A long one out to Rioli at half-back. One coming back now to Winton. Winton's going for a bit of a run, and he'd better get rid of it. In a hurried way, went between Menzel's legs that time. Fairing going through again. He's playing a pretty good game tonight, Bob, as the ball goes over to McIntosh. He doesn't waste any time and goes for down towards centre-half forward. Michael Laney couldn't mark the ball. It's tapped out to Button that time. Finally punching the ball back as Lockman. Kicked off the ground by Winton out there towards Thomas. This is Greg Thomas. A hurried kick back there towards the forward pocket. The ball hits the deck. In goes Van Daniger. Gets a hand pass back to Menzel's. Umpire said he threw the ball. What do you reckon?
Lou, Van Daniger is playing his first game tonight for Norwood because of all of their injuries, and he's since coming on as a replacement for Smale. He's really put in, and he's not the classiest player in the world, but he's certainly done a great job so far.
Well, he's got a heart as big as this ground at the moment. He's doing a pretty good job as the ball goes out of bounds on that half-back flank position for Norwood.
Boundary throw in. Aish gets it taken away from him, but not very far. Lee, long handball, trying to find Rioli, but it just missed out on that department. Picked up by Aish, and he looks very strange in that headgear. However, if it does the job, that's all he needs. Roberts tries to take the mark, not successful, and it will be a boundary throw in almost in the forward pocket for Norwood. Looks to be made of some sort of rubber, I guess, very similar to the ones the cricket players wear in appearance. I guess its substance is perhaps different.
Graham Landy going everywhere that Aish goes, Peter.
He's doing a good job at the moment too, Graham.
This fellow's playing a very good game at the moment, Keith Thomas.
Preston has thought he had the free kick, but it's not going to him. Thomas about 70 metres out from goal. Puts the ball long up full forward. Wiley front running, and he's opposite number 2 there, Thomas. Taken away by Rolfe. Rolfe from left half-back flank goes around the centre wing position, and it's too wide. Free kick going Norwood's way, and it will be taken out there by Big Fairing. He'll be one of the best on the ground at the moment.
Yes, he's playing a fine game. St Kilda at the moment must be wondering, he'd be very handy with only Jeff Saru to do the ruck work.
Certainly would. Or Lee got one in the back, and I would imagine Mark Lee would come out of it with the free kick. He's given it away to Wiley. He's also playing a very good game for Richmond. Wiley's kicked back towards centre field. Kane went without the ball, going through as Noble. Picks it up beautifully, almost runs into trouble. The short pass taken away by Keith Thomas. To half forward again. Lee sets himself. A mammoth punch away. Palmer's there. Thomas onto Menzel. Menzel from right half forward. A short pass. Looking for Aish. Too long for him. And we'll see a boundary throw in. Right half forward flank for Norwood.
It's about 50 metres around from their goal. The score at the moment is 3 goals, 4-22 Richmond to Norwood 2-3-15. Just on the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Knocked out by Lee. Button tries to juggle the ball out. There's plenty of going on as Rolfe's thrown out of the pack by Big Button. And the umpire will ball it up, still about 45 metres out from the Norwood goal. Well, they're certainly showing a lot of endeavour tonight, Morwood, Bob, aren't they?
Yes, well, any side that's coached by Neil Baum certainly would have plenty of endeavour.
I should imagine so. Ball out of bounds, still in the same spot than Neil Baum with the...
and the next Norwood great, and John Wynn with him.
That's right. Hand on the chin to Baum. Knocked out by Lee the second time. Back to Rolfe. He's grabbed, trying to get it over to Rioli. Finally, it comes out to Preston. Nice bit of sidestepping away from Gallagher that time. Back towards centre field. Bounces high. Go on the punch that time as Renfrey away from Ward. This is Rawlings in front of Adler, showing too much pace. Goes another long hand pass to Palm. Palm's got the ball at half forward. Back it goes to Roll. That's going backwards, I would say, but Rawlings saved the day with beautiful play the second time as he fires at the goals. It's a beautiful kick too. It's a goal. What a... 7.5 minutes gone of the second quarter. 4 goals for 28 Richmond. Beautiful goal coming from Barry Rawlings to Norwood 2-3-15. There's a hand pass coming out there to Palm. Right out there on the centre wing position. Goes for a long kick looking for Jess Warhurst. Got into his back. Jess going after it now. Win the race with the ball, but it'll beat him over. No, he's hooked it back. In goes Renfrey, and he's made sure it wasn't forced out of bounds.
Palm, of course, Lou, who kicked that ball right down there before going to Perth. I think it was West Perth. Did play with Norwood.
Well, there we see the ball back into play again. Punched out by Lee. Grabbed here by Neagle on the boundary line, but he can't control it there, and it's out of bounds on Richmond's half-forward line, about 70 metres around from their goal. They're 28 points to Norwood, 15 points just over the 8-minute mark of the second quarter.
Landy at the back, knocked down by Michael Laney, picked up by Menzel, flicks the hand pass out, taken by Scanlon, well smothered, ball still in play. Strawn gives the hand pass out. Andy Preston is there. Well, he went the wrong way. Back it goes to Strawn, runs it to Menzel, caught with the ball. And Menzel to take the free kick in the left back pocket. And could almost be a 15-metre penalty if the ball isn't surrendered. 28-15.
I think he goes to the same hairdresser as Trevor Barker, that guy down there in the back pocket.
It'd be a fair chance, you think. A push out again, and this time it's a Norwood free kick. I hear some extraneous comments from Jack Edwards in the background as Adler takes the free kick at left half-back flank. Adler to centre wing. Lee in front. Now who's got that one? And it has gone to Lee. He came down with the ball, certainly. Lockman. High to half forward. Strawn goes the punch. At the back is Michaelini. Back to centre wing. Malthouse punches the ball clear. And take it away for Norwood by Bardeniger. Not very far. In goes Malthouse. Missed the first half of the season with a shoulder injury. Lockman, right half-back flank. Intended for Jep, that hand pass, but it was a bad one. McIntosh is there and does well to pick that up. He was off balance. The hand pass to Thomas. Now they're going forward quite okay. Driven down towards the centre half-forward position. Jep at the back takes it, but there's a free kick. It's going to Big Ferring, I think.
Interference, Pete, by Murray.
And Ferring about 55 metres out from goal.
15 metres, so he'll have no trouble with the distance.
No, he'll get the distance if we remember that kick at St Kilda.
Well, there's only one thing wrong with it here at the moment. He's a ruckman firing a goal from close range, Bob.
And what are you suggesting, Lou?
I'm suggesting he could kick the goal.
Ferring from 30 metres out has made no mistake. So Ferring's first goal, a very useful one indeed for Norwood. It brings them a little bit closer. 28-21.
I have the feeling nonetheless, Peter, that Lou was suggesting that being a ruckman, he would go to the water under pressure. And that wasn't quite the case. But Ferring has played a fine game so far. He's had by far the better of the ruck work. And with Michelini now going in, Ferring comes down to the forward line.
And on the Sterling Cup, it's only 7 points the difference now in favour of the Tigers. Norwood sticking with them, 28-21 at VFL Park. Lee and Michaelini. Aish. Adler. Adler at left centre wing. Rioli in pursuit. Lockman should get there first, and he's quite content to bundle the ball over the boundary line in front of Bardeniger.
Just over 11 minutes gone of this second quarter. 28 points Richmond and Norwood 21, so they're hanging in there, even though they've made 10 changes from their side that played here the last time. So it's a fine effort by Norwood at the moment. Out it comes to Wall, a hurried kick back towards Richmond's half-forward line. Oh, well smothered by Noble that time. He's kicked it back towards centre half-forward. A chance for Richmond to get it clear as Whitten kicks the ball back to Rolfe at centre field. Rolfe taps it on the ground, goes for a long kick looking for Wiley. He's got a chance to mark. This one's a bit long. The ball punched away by Lachlan. Coming in to meet it now is Renfrey. A hand pass over again. This is Michael Laney there with another long hand pass. Over to Scanlon, I think it is. Yes, Scanlon drives the ball. He got pushed in the back.
Downfield.
And it will go to Michael Laney there at centre half forward. Buttons, I should say. Button goes for a short pass. Not a good one. Intercepted again down there in that back pocket or half-back flank by Whitten. The ball is out of bounds. Well, they're putting him under plenty of pressure at the moment. The Tigers not looking that marvellous. They're 4-4-28 to Norwood 3-3-21. And I should imagine Francis Burke would have plenty to say to his team when they go in. It's a fine effort by Norwood. Roberts hooks the ball back from that knockout. Ball's a bit short. Murray drops the mark. In goes McIntosh, grabbed too high, and he'll get a free kick. And he'd be about 45 metres out from goal. Another fine player.
He's got plenty of courage, hasn't he?
He's a good player, this boy, and he and Fairing and Keith Thomas are doing a great job, but they've got plenty of helpers there. Oh, should have gone for the kick there as the ball finally comes back to McIntosh again. Good play as he tries to get out of trouble. He's slung to the ground. Umpire said a push in the back. Now he should have a shot at the goals instead of messing about. He's only about 30 metres out directly in front. And, of course, if he kicks this goal, it'll make the difference only 1 point. He looks a tough little guy, this fella, too. He wouldn't run through a brick wall. He'd walk through it, I reckon.
Yes, he's still only 19 years of age, Lou, and played a great game in their premiership win last year.
There's the kick by McIntosh. Didn't quite make the distance. Nearly a mark to button, but the umpire said no as the ball is finally cleared out by Murray out there towards the half-back line. It beats them all, and it's out of bounds about 50 metres around from the Norwood goal. I must admit that Vardeniger's doing a great job since he came on, Bob. By golly, he's a terrier.
Yes, he's certainly not letting them down.
Mightn't have much style, but that's his first game in senior football, so we've got to give him full credit too, as Lee gets the tap out. Not a good one. Down it comes to Mickey Moldhouse, and Moldhouse is pushed over the line, actually, by Button, and the umpire said throw it in again. This time it's about 40 metres around from the Norwood goal. They're 21 points to Richmond 28 as we approach the 14.5-minute mark of the second quarter of the fourth quarter final. Ball going towards the boundary line, finally picked up by Rowland, back towards half-back.
Oh, bad miss there. The Tigers go forward again. Jess taking a fine mark in front of Warhurst. And while Jeff Fairing is a good kick, so too is this fellow. Again, a mammoth punt kick in towards the full forward position and almost touched there by Temperley. Nevertheless, it was through for one behind. But the Tigers and the Sterling scoreboard 4-5 to 3-3 now in the second term. 8 points the difference in favour of Richmond. Second term in progress, nearly 15 minutes. Don't know that they've gained that much. Knocked away by Strawn. Gallagher takes it well. Hand pass into the open. A chance for Greg Thomas. McIntosh. Aish. Short to right half forward, and a good mark taken by Neville Roberts, who kicked 2 goals in the first quarter within the space of about a minute to get Norwood off to a start. 2-on-1, and Menzel wins out. Well done. Hooks it high towards full forward, and the mark taken down there just about in the 10-metre square by Vardeniger, and he's put it through for a goal.
Well, if a guy deserved a goal, it's that fella, Bob, because he's got a heart, as I said before, as big as this ground.
Yes, from the moment he came on the ground, Lou, he's really put in. He started off on the half-back line. He's playing on the half-forward line now. And it was a great effort by Menzel, too. I thought it was a mark, actually. And Menzel seeing Vardeniger on his own, and it's just reward for the effort that's been put in that Vardeniger gets a goal. There it is, Vardeniger with Lockman.
Apparently he's only played 3 reserve games too, besides not playing a senior game before, Bob.
He probably had to be introduced to the rest of the side.
2 points the difference. Very good effort by Norwood. Roberts gets it down, but it's taken away by Jepp and turned to Lee, almost caught by Gallagher. The big fellow eludes him. A worm bender kick up to half forward. Temperley, hot in pursuit is Lachlan. Mervyn Kane, close to the boundary line. Gets it back, and a fine mark taken down there in defence for Norwood, and bringing it in as Scanlon. He plays on, and the mark taken down there in the opposite back pocket now by Renfrey.
Renfrey's got the ball down there in the back pocket as we approach the 17-minute mark. 2 points the difference.
3 kicks there, Lou. They've gained about 10 metres.
Well, this is Michael Laney now down there at fullback. Michael Laney's kick is out there towards that wing position, and there's a mark taken by Adler. So they've got the Tigers in a bit of a knot at the moment as the ball finally goes out towards the wing position. Lee going for the mark there, or went for the tap down to Preston. Another hand pass coming back there to Landy out there on the centre wing position. A short pass, and Wiley grabs the mark at centre field. Goes up a long kick looking for Jess, but Warhurst is there too. He won't give him much latitude as the ball is tapped to the ground. This gives Michael Laney a chance. Oh, beautiful play by the big fella, but he was grabbed too high as he spun into the pack that time and will take a free kick at full-back. So it's only 2 points the difference. Richmond 29 to Norwood 27 as we see Renfrey take the mark at half-back. I should imagine Francis Burke will have a lot to say to the Tigers. We see Keith Thomas take the mark. It's been a fine play. Gets away from Jess very easily. Ball back there towards Big Button. The bow, that's a good mark. And they've really got their pecker up at the moment, the Norwood boys. Doing a great job, putting Richmond under plenty of pressure. Coming in as Menzel, a hand pass back to Neagle. He could have been grabbed. Back it goes to Menzel again. Over to Roberts. Beautiful play on the part of Roberts. A hand pass to Greg Thomas. A goal coming up if he's accurate. And he's put it through for a goal. They've hit the front. Oh, the Tigers are in trouble now. So it's 4 goals, 5-29. Richmond, Norwood, 5-3-33. Just on 18 and a half minutes gone of this second quarter. And, Bob, they're in serious trouble at the moment.
Yes, and in the thick of things again. The blonde-headed Menzel, he got the hand pass out to Neville Roberts. A long hand pass to Thomas. And that was a great piece of teamwork, that one by Norwood. They have had all the play in this quarter. They've taken the game right up to and away from the Tigers and fully deserved their lead.
19 minutes gone in the second term, so that means we're only 60 seconds away from half-time. Knocked away by Ferring. Landy takes it and gets rid of it very quickly. A chance for Gallagher on centre wing. Now it's McIntosh is there first. Strawn sockets it off the ground. He and Noble racing for it. Preston onto the left boot. Adler in front. Can't take the mark. The umpire says play on. Back it goes to Keith Thomas. And chipping in to take the mark again is Preston on right centre wing. Wobbly punt kick. Jess and Warhurst knocked away by the latter. Thomas. Rioli lost sight of the ball there, but it comes back to McIntosh on centre wing. Norwood swing into attack again. Menzel at half forward. Oh, gets collected very heavily by Jep. The umpire says no free kick, perhaps surprisingly. And umpire Rowan Saw's letting it go a little bit. Nevertheless, has decided on the bounce as we approach the half-time siren.
Tell you what, they're desperate, Robert.
Yes, their disposal is far better than Richmond's, and they're really tackling hard.
Knocked away by Button. As the siren goes to end the second quarter, Norwood 5 goals, 3-33, leading Richmond 4-5-29.
Coach and former Richmond star Neil Baum. Baum will always be remembered for his explosive performance in the 1973 Grand Final when he seemed to personally dispose of half the Carlton defence. Later, he was to settle a few scores with Carl Ditterich. Apart from the tough stuff, Neil played 158 games for the Tigers and played in 2 premierships. Now, with a premiership under his belt with Norwood, Neil can look forward to bigger things in the 1983
Quarter-by-quarter scores indicating that Norwood lead at half-time by 4 points. In that second term, they kicked 3 goals even. Richmond added 1 goal too. The goal kickers for Norwood up to half-time. Roberts has 2. 1 to Greg Thomas, 1 to Ferring and 1 to Vardeniger. And for Richmond, their 4 goals have been kicked by Wall, Tempany, Kane and Rowings. 4-5-29 to 5-3-33 at half-time in the 4th quarter final of the Sterling Cup. Very exciting match. All right, we'll come back to further comment from Bob Skilton and Lou Richards in just a few moments. But first of all, the latest in the footy stop press as we go to the sporting editor of the Sunday Press and Farmers Punchlines. Here's Scott.
Good evening. Essendon's Grant Fowler. He's hardly what you would call a top-line league star, but he's got the qualities a lot of clubs are looking for. You've all heard that Richmond and Hawthorn are trying to arrange a 3-way swap for the half-forward rover type who can run, who can really run. But North, they've put in a bid in too. But you haven't heard yet that Carlton have been ringing Essendon, trying to do an exchange for Robert Klomp, who has resigned. There's been no bite yet. Klomp's pace could be a bit of a drawback, but the offer could be tempting as clearances draw to a close. I can also reveal now that the Blues are in 2 minds about whether to snap up Rene Kink. Some officials say yes, some maybe, but I suspect Carlton is the club Rene has been waiting for, ahead of Essendon, Geelong and St Kilda. Collingwood have told some of the younger players, Paul Ryan, Glenn Bellinger, Doug Page and of course Tommy Floyd, to look elsewhere this season. Floyd, I'm told, is being sought by clubs in Adelaide and a few in Queensland. Backman Ray Byrne has told the club he's retiring. He could feel the Magpies have missed out on making the finals. Stephen Michael is the best footballer left in WA and for many years has held Geelong's interest. But word has reached Cardinia Park that 2 other VFL clubs have been knocking on Michael's door, and they're far from happy about it. Francis Burke's contract with the Tigers has another year to run, and I suspect will go the distance. The Tigers say they will have 3 players ready for him in this year and want another 4 for next year. And for all the people whose teams have missed out on the finals, I've got good news. There's a new dinky-die Australian card game. It's called footy, and there's some real headline characters in it. There are no prizes for recognising these 2, but if you can tell me what Mugger is doing and where he'll end up, I'd be very interested.
Right, thank you, Scott. And Scott, of course, a regular guest in Sevens Big League every Saturday night. 4 points the difference in favour of Norwood at the half-time. Bob Skilton, are you surprised at their lead?
Not at all the way they've been playing, Pete, because although both sides in that second quarter had 3 scoring shots, Norwood kicking 3 straight goals to Richmond's 1-2, it could easily have been a lot more that the Norwood boys got. They deserved it because they had most of the play. They had a magnificent player across the centre and around the packs in Keith Thomas, and although Graham Landy may have shut Michael Aish out, then the other smaller players, such as Menzel and Nagel and those players, have really lifted their game to make up for the quietness of Michael Aish. And you can't blame Aish for being a little quiet with all the pressure that's being put on them out there. Across the half-back line, Norwood also did well with Noble lifting his game, Scanlon as well. Renfrey, but Renfrey did lift his game. Warhurst at full-back has made sure that Jess hasn't had too many kicks, nor Lee when he has come off the ball. There are not a lot of good Richmond players. Wiley has picked up his share of kicks, but Richmond, really, their game fell away in that quarter. Strawn has been a reasonable player at centre-half forward, tapping the ball on to players as they go past, but the Norwood boys, their disposal has been better, and they've been led again in that area by Keith Thomas. But Button lifted his game at centre-half forward and gave them something to attack to. Neville Roberts has kicked 2 goals, and a handball to Greg Thomas has brought up another one. All in all, Norwood, their tackling has been quicker, their disposal better, and that has been the difference.
Fearing one of the best ruckmen on the ground, Bob?
Well, he certainly has had most of the knockouts in the centre bounce, and when you see Ferring play at the moment, St Kilda must feel that, you know, we should have him back down there, but maybe he's having a night on his top. We look back a couple of years now when Ferring, look, the centre of the ground, there's the centre circle, and players all running backwards.
It's an amazing kick that, wasn't it?
Alex Jezelenko in the goal square.
Kicked from over the centre circle.
A jubilant Barry Breen.
It's got to be 80 metres, hasn't it?
Easy. There's an amazing kick. That'll be one of the longest kicks I've ever seen.
I think we've got to give a lot of credit to the boy we mentioned. That's Vardenigo. You know, coming on the ground, he's only played, 3 reserve games. It's his first senior game. He's kicked a goal, but not the way he's playing. It's how he's going about it. He's showing tremendous courage, and I think that's why the Norwood side's in front, because they're showing a lot more spirit than the Tigers, aren't they, really?
All right, well, we'll continue that discussion in just a few moments. 4 points the difference in favour of Norwood at half-time in the Sterling Cup. We'll be back at VFL Park in just a moment.
Richmond and St Kilda were languishing at the bottom of the VFL ladder with only 1 win between them when they met in the 7th match of the current Sterling Cup competition. Despite their daytime blues, the sides put up a great struggle, with Richmond overtaking the Saints in the final term. A 5-goal last quarter burst gave the Tigers under Francis Burke victory and a place in tonight's quarter-final of the Sterling Cup.
VFL Park Arena, Norwood, and here come the Tigers at the moment, trailing by 4 points.
Well, it's a fair effort on the part of Norwood, Pete, because they went into this match long outsiders because of the 10 changes from the last time they beat Footscray here. But the side has got this tremendous endeavour, and there's no doubt that's the workings of Neil Baum, because that's the sort of guy he was, Bob.
I'm a little surprised, Lou, that Richmond haven't brought Foley onto the ground at all, because when they're falling down across the forward line, the player that they've recruited for just that, I feel sure that in the night so good with not that heavy dew across the top of the ground, then Foley would learn a lot.
All right, well, Stephen Phillips has a report for us before play gets underway.
You were right. As a matter of fact, the air in the Norwood rooms was fabulous, and the 10 players out of the side, they did have to introduce Glenn Vardeniger to the team this afternoon. He came down from Broken Hills, only played 3 games. In fact, only half a dozen of the boys knew him. Back to you, fellas.
Third quarter begins at VFL Park, with Norwood leading by 4 points, 33-29 over the Tigers. Knocked away by Mark Lee. No one making any headway from the centre circle. Noble's kick was well smothered and picked up by Ahmat. Coming onto the ground. That's it. That was his first touch. The umpire has found a free kick. It's going to Neville Roberts at centre half forward. Roberts has so far kicked 2 goals for his side. Both of those pretty close together. Torpedo punt kick into the goal square. Almost a mark.
Paying it.
He's paid the mark too. Is it going to Button or Michael Annie?
Michael Annie, I think, Pete. Either way, it was either one of them.
Yes.
Well, this is dangerous now. This puts them 10 points in front, Pete.
Won't help their confidence at all much.
Oh, golly. They'll be running 10 feet tall around the ground now, the Norwood team.
Well, Michael Annie yet to score a goal, but one would venture to suggest from that distance he'd be able to put it through. Which he's done. Michael Annie brings up his first goal. So a very good start in the third quarter to Norwood, 6-3-39 to 4-5-29.
It's a poor tackle by the Richmond defence there against Neville Roberts. And Roberts, a beautiful kick of a football, got it right down to the goal square, where Jim Michelini now tying up the boot, and he finished it off with a great mark. If he hadn't marked it, I'm sure Button would have anyway. So either way, not good defence and a great boost to the Norwood side. And I don't think Francis Burke would be very happy at all at the moment.
A minute and 3/4 gone in the third quarter. Fearing and Lee. Well, they both missed it. A chance for the Tigers to go forward through Rioli, who gets tripped up accidentally. Ahmat got grabbed when he didn't have the ball. Going through as Preston. The umpire has found a free kick to Norwood, and the recipient will be Ahmat. So this is his second touch for the night.
Short pass by Ahmat. That's okay. Fairing's got it. A hand pass coming over to Lachlan. They're full of running at the moment as the ball goes down there towards Menzel. He goes for the knockout. Coming in to meet it now is War, but the ball is on the boundary line there. The umpire says play on. It's picked up by Greg Thomas, and they'll go back deep into attack again. That's a long kick up there. The umpire's
kick upfield, Lou.
Kick upfield. It'll go to Michael Laney, and this will put him 16 points in front.
Exactly the same spot.
And believe you me, are the Tigers in the hot seat now? By golly, what a turn-up this has turned out to be. And what a fine effort by Norwood. A tremendous effort. They're showing Richmond what desperation football is all about. There's the kick by Michael Laney, and there's no doubt about it. It's another goal.
Yes,
Well, Bobby.
Once again, Lou, very, very poor defence, because Greg Thomas was knocked over after he kicked the ball up the ground, and there isn't any brains whatsoever in a thing like that to just give away a kick in the goal square. And Michelini and that are dangerous enough anyway without just pushing over a player. And that, to me, is schoolboy stuff that is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, 2 goals coming to Michael Laney within 3 minutes of the start of this play. And, of course, that's put Norwood 16 points in front. It's Fairing against Mark Lee. And he's doing pretty well at the moment, big number 40. There's another big, hefty knockout down there. Hand pass coming back to Rioli. Out it comes there looking for Lockman, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to Rioli down there towards centre half back. The kick falls short, and there's a mark to Noble.
He's done well, Lou, since quarter time.
He's on top of Strawn at the moment, and they've had many good players, but they're showing the Tigers how to go about it. 16 points in front. Back to centre half forward for Norwood. Punched out by Big Lee, and the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to Lee at centre half back. Doesn't waste any time. Gets it down there towards Preston. And we see going for the markers. Lachlan taps it out now. Bit of a scrimmage. Strawn comes out of the pack. Runs into a bit of trouble, but finally gets a hand pass to Rioli. Doesn't take a chance. A beautiful punch coming over to Palm. Duffed his head. He's grabbed too high this time.
Bit lucky.
He said a free kick against him for holding the ball.
Yeah,
well, I thought he might have grabbed him too high.
He ducked the head, according to the umpire.
Well, that's just a matter of opinion. He's closer than we are. Finally, it comes out now to Lachlan. He can't pick it up. Wiley grabs it. A hand pass to Andy Preston there at half forward. It's a shocking kick. They're a little bit rattled, the Tigers. We see going after it now is Adler. A hand pass coming back. Plenty of fumbling going on by both sides, and the umpire will ball it up down towards the Richmond half-forward line.
McIntosh in trouble.
Just over, or just on the 5-minute mark, and 16 points the difference in favour of Norwood.
Yes, it's been a great start to the second half by Norwood. Ball very close to the boundary line and beating Neville Roberts over. We'll see it thrown back into play.
Well, they're going in after the ball as if they really mean it, Peter.
McIntosh still limping. He got a kick in that pack there, I think, before. Let's hope he's okay for Norwood's sake. Picked up by Morris Rioli. Up the right half forward flank. Palmed away by Strawn. Lachlan is there. He's opposite number 19. Taken away by Noble. High kick back towards left centre wing. No mark. Away go Richmond through the agency of Winton. Palm, this time taking the mark in front of Scanlon. Over it goes to Rawlings. Turn the hand pass on towards Kane. And it's a goal.
Merv Kane kicking his second goal after a good passage of handball, and that's exactly what Richmond have to do. It's no good sitting back and hoping the thing's going to happen. They have to make it happen, as Palm now gives it across to Rawlings, over to Kane, and under pressure, a nice kick, his second goal.
I didn't think that was going to be a goal, but it was, I thought, closer to the behind post. Anyway, the goal umpire's post, and as you saw by the angle behind the goal, he put it through quite cleanly. Knocked away by Ferring. Aish from half forward. Looks up there for Michael Aney, who knocks the ball clear, but backing up the ever-reliable Mickey Malthouse. Brings it across goal. And the trip on a Richmond player down there.
Lockman.
He will take it in right back pocket. 5-5 to 7-3, a difference of 10 points in favour of Norwood. And Lockman to take this free kick. Lee and Ferring. Lee in front and takes the mark. Probably about his first mark tonight, I think. One or two, hasn't taken that many. Lee to right half forward. Tempany in front, knocked away by Lachlan. A chance for Wiley. Hot in pursuit is Noble. Wiley's hand pass effective. Can Kane make it 3? A snapshot from 35 metres out, and he's put it through for 4 points.
Just over the 7.5-minute mark, the Tigers bouncing back. Ferring against Lee. Well, Ferring got that one again, punched on by Rioli. A chance here now. Umpires found a free kick. It'll go there to Palm at centre field. Palm's kick is well over centre half forward. Jimmy Jess in the front posse. Umpires found a free kick against Warhurst, and the free kick will go to Jimmy Jess. About 40 metres out from goal directly in front. If he's accurate, this will put the Tigers in front by 2 points. The kick by Jess is not a bad one. It's another goal. So the Tigers have hit the front now. So it's 7-5-47 Richmond to Norwood 7-3-45. Just on the 8.5-minute mark. Well, the Tigers have bounced back, but not before time because they look very, very sluggish.
Morris Rioli, a vital cog in the Richmond lineup, Lou. Since in the last few moments when Richmond have kicked those 3 goals, Rioli has been right in the thick of things.
Right.
And whenever Rioli's on his game, Richmond appear to be playing well. He really is a cog in the machine.
Well, he's a classy player, Morris Rioli. If we wait for the centre bounce again, it's Mark Lee against Ferring, and Mark Lee's coming from a long way back to go for this knockout against the big fella from Norwood. Norwood got it out again. McIntosh, a hand pass to Ace. Fumbles the ball. It finally comes back to Kane. Then Tempany's grab, drops it. They stack up here, and the umpire will ball it up on Richmond's centre half forward position. So it's 4 points the difference, 2 points the difference, I should say, in favour of the Tigers. Just over the 9-minute mark of this third quarter of the quarter-final, or the fourth quarter-final of the Sterling Cup. Ball knocked on again by Landy. Kane does a bit of juggling. He finally actually threw that out, and the umpire said, throw him the ball, and the free kick will go to Armour. It's Noble in trouble there for Norwood. That's a bit of bad luck. Oh, Ace dropped an easy one that time. This gave Tempany a bit of a break, but Ace is onto him too. Won't let him give in. And finally he goes after 2, and down they fall over like nobody's business. Umpire says play on as Jimmy Jess's hand pass is intercepted beautifully by Lachlan. Lachlan's kick is back there towards the wing position. Coming in to meet it as War couldn't take the mark. It's on the boundary line and finally forced out of bounds on the centre wing position. So we see Noble up now and walking. That's good news for the Norwood team. 7-3-45 Norwood to Richmond 7-5-47. Just over the 10-minute mark of the third quarter.
Boundary throw in, and it's taken away by Greg Thomas. Knocked down by Button. Plenty of Richmond players are there. Menzel can't get clear. Malthouse making sure of that. And it will be a bounce right half forward for Norwood. 7-5 to 7-3. So we've had 5 goals kicked in 10.5 minutes. 2 to Norwood, 3 to Richmond in this quarter. Norwood at one stage leading by 16 points, but the Tigers have picked them back pretty smartly. Menzel. High punt kick. Down towards the full forward pocket. Lockman gets the hand pass out, and the Tigers get out of the danger zone. Malthouse, short pass in towards centre field. Wiley takes the mark in front of Renfrey. Running past, Rollings. Up to full forward, and Jess. Good football by Richmond. And Jess well within kicking distance. He and, we must say, Fearing, the longest kicks on the ground. This guy can really kick a ball. Not quite the accuracy with that kick, but that's a Tiger mark just about in the goal square. Now the chance for Graham Landy to bring up another goal. He hasn't scored one so far.
He's done a great job tonight, though. He's kept Michael Ace very quiet and picked up his kicks himself.
He wouldn't kick too many goals. He's been playing mostly a half-back flank since he transferred to Richmond from Geelong. 1 goal.
Yes, for the last, well, I might say 8 minutes of play, Richmond have really hit back. Have kicked 4 goals in that 8 minutes, and the whole side have responded, and they've brought into their play a running game that that Norwood were taking the game up to them with prior to that. Norwood doing all the running before, and it's evident that Keith Thomas has gone right out of the game since half-time.
Well, Richmond stung into action after being behind by some 16 points. They now lead 53 to 45, so that's a better-looking scoreboard if you're a Tiger supporter. Norwood still well in it. Michael Aish up towards left half forward. Fearing almost marked it. Now it comes out to Winton. Adler can't get around him. Rowings, right half-back flank, almost caught by Armat. Adler's there, can't smother the kick. Back towards centre field. Knock away by Lachlan. Menzel is there. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going Richmond's way, and it will be taken down there by Palm. Has it? He's given it back to Bruce Temperty. Temperty up towards full forward, looking for Jess.
And mark dropped that time by Michael Aney. Jimmy Jess finally knocks the ball out. The umpire's found a free kick. It'll go out there to Noble at full back. 8 points the difference in favour of the Tigers now, and the Tigers looking a lot better in that last 10 minutes of this quarter. Bit of juggling going on there. The umpire not paying the free kick or the mark. Finally it goes to Rolling, but the umpire said it's out of bounds. Out of bounds up towards the centre wing position. They're certainly looking a lot better in this last 10 minutes, the Tigers, Bob.
Yes, well, they've started to run, Lou, and Rioli, Rollings. They've been the players in the middle of things, but the whole Richmond side have responded and risen at the moment, but they are at least now giving them something to kick to. Jimmy Jess leading from full forward. They are really moving around the ground, and I notice Barry Richardson in front there with Neil Baum, so you could say a spy in the camp.
Ball out there towards that Richmond half-forward line. 8 points the difference as the ball is forced out of bounds on Richmond's half-forward line at the 14-minute mark. The Tigers in front after being in a lot of trouble in this quarter, 16 points down. Ball back into play again. Jess against Michael Laney. Oh, nearly a free kick to Jess there as it comes back there to Rolfe. Rolfe's kick is a hurried one back towards the forward pocket position. Oh, there's Wiley spinning out the pack. Coming over to Jimmy Jess. Another goal coming up. No, he's off target, and it's through for 1 point. So it's 9 points the difference now. 8 goals, 6:54 Richmond, and Norwood 7:3:45. Well, there he is on the phone, Neil Baum. I don't know who he's ringing, but still he's trying to give some message out to his team, but not through the lack of endeavour, because they've really tried their hearts out here tonight. Punched away again. The ball comes back to Morris Rioli, a classy player, as he fires at the goals. This is a beautiful kick. It's a goal.
In favour of Richmond. The winner of this match will play Hawthorn in a semi-final of this competition in a few weeks' time. Free kick going to Norwood, and it will be taken by Nagel. Up to half forward. Button tries to knock it on. Taken by Roberts. Roberts' hand pass back to Thomas, and chipping in is Winton. Nagel again. Handball. Back it goes to Thomas. And a fine mark brought in by Button. Button at right half forward. Probably 50 to 55 metres out from goal. Need to be a good kick. Ferring calling for it in the goal square. Let's see if he can get it up to him or, in fact, kick it himself. Ferring is there. Hit the post. Hit the bottom of the post, actually.
It'd have been a goal.
I think it went over with all their hands.
Yeah, no one touched it.
Umpire saying it was touched, but I couldn't see anybody touching that.
It hit the post, so...
It doesn't make any difference in the end, but it was an interesting one. Button again tries to get it down. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going to, let me see.
Landy, I think.
Nobody knows.
Jeff? Winton.
No, it's going to Winton.
They're all confused out there at the moment.
Winton at left half-back flank. And the 15-metre penalty will be applied by the umpire, bringing Winton almost up to centre wing.
Francis Burke having a bit of a smile now.
Well, he should smile. They've played a lot better in the last 10 minutes. Their best football for the match, Richmond. And that's a fine mark by Greg Strawn. Strawn, a chance to put Richmond deep into attack. Looking for Jess. Got two opponents to beat. It's fisted clear. Wiley is there, knocked away from him. And the ball out of bounds in the forward pocket. Racing Scanlon over the line. And it will be thrown in about 15 to 20 metres around from the scoring area. Jess doing the ruck work for the Tigers. Gets it away from Michael Aney, who's kicked 2 goals for his side. Both of them in this quarter. Lockman, Landy, Lee. Long handball. Not a particularly good piece of football from the big ruckman. A snapshot for goal by Wiley is out of bounds. We'll see a throw in left forward pocket.
Just on 18 minutes gone. 60 points Richmond to Norwood 46. A difference of 14 points in front of the Tigers now. Ball back into play. Michael Laney and Jess. Actually, Michael Laney got that one down, running over the ball. That time was well picked up by Greg Thomas. Looking out there for Renfrey's grab. A hand pass coming back to Button. Oh, good play, but he's held the man when he didn't have the ball. And the free kick will go out there to Kane. Kane's kick is a long one. They're looking for Jimmy Jess. Warhurst goes the punch. The ball hits the deck again. Jimmy Jess after it. Finally, it's Preston coming out of the pack. A hurried kick towards the goal, but he's off. Is it coming around enough? No, it's through for 1 point. So the difference now, 9 goals, 761 Richmond to Norwood 7-4-46. So it's 15 points. We just get over the 18.5-minute mark of this third quarter. Waiting on the ball to come back into play by Lachlan. Well, I think the sting may have gone out of the Norwood team, but by golly, no one tried harder than they did in that first half of the match. But still, it's a long way to go before it's over. Oh, there's a good mark taken there by Landy. He's played a great game. Ball back there. Oh, but Rioli dropped that. Menzel goes in. It comes out to Menzel again from a hand pass from Adler. Finally, Armott's going after it now, playing the ball in front of him. Chipping in there is Lockman. And this is Vandaliga going after the hand pass back again to Rioli. Good plays. He gets a hand pass out to Wiley. In a bit of trouble here. Down he goes. Vandaliga again back to Adler. The umpire said he threw it. It'll be a free kick to the Tigers and it'll go to Wiley. A little bit stiff that time. Wiley's only about 15 metres out on a bit of an angle, but shouldn't have any trouble kicking this goal. This will put them 21 points in front if he's successful. Tigers certainly playing a lot better in this quarter. That's another goal. So the game gradually slipping away from Norwood at the moment, Bob.
Yes, I think a couple of good moves by Richmond. One, Palm now has been tagging Keith Thomas, and Thomas has gone right out of the game in this quarter. In fact, I think he's only had 1 kick for the quarter, where he had 13 up to half-time, and that has taken away a lot of the drive from the Norwood side. As well as that, the injury to McIntosh certainly hasn't helped either.
Just over the 20-minute mark, Richmond 10-7-67 to Norwood 7-4-46. Tigers go back into attack again through Wall over their centre-half forward position. Punched on by Tempany. The long hand pass by Kane to Wild. This will be another goal coming up as he gives a long hand pass to Jimmy Jess. No trouble about this one. Another goal.
Jess is second.
Well, there we see the Tigers running hot as they move on to 11 goals. 7-73 to Norwood, 7-4-46. Just on the 21-minute mark.
Well, you could almost say 7 goals in just over 15 minutes, really, as we see Merv Kane now with a long hand pass that bounces favourably for Wiley. Wiley putting it right up to Jess in the square. and he had no worries at all about putting that through, and it's been a great comeback by Richmond too. We've given Norwood a lot of credit. Norwood maybe thought they had things going all their way when they got those 2 quick goals after half-time, but Richmond coming right back with 7 goals.
73 to 46 at the 21.5-minute mark of the third quarter. Lee, and the umpire has found a free kick to Richmond. It will be taken by their big number 1 ruckman. He's gone for the hand pass to Landy. Malthouse on Landy. It was Murray. I haven't seen much of him in the last few minutes. Hasn't been down. Kane. Chance for Rioli. Snaps it up beautifully. Lovely hand pass. Rolfe almost caught. Into the goal square and a mark. Is it 10 metres? No play on, says the umpire. I think a good decision. It was barely 10 metres. And the ball up will take place in the square. Lachlan goes for the big punch. Free kick going to Norwood. They certainly haven't any luck in that regard lately, and the kick will be taken by Michael Aney. Brings it around the member stand side. Renfrey takes the mark in front of Andy Preston. Renfrey left back pocket. That's a good kick up the centre wing. Knocked away from Button. Scouting well as Noble, but he's beaten to it by Rioli. A short pass, poor direction, taken by Thomas. Keith Thomas playing on from half-back. Wobbly punt up to left half forward. Mark taken by Ferring. A hand pass to Armat. Puts it high down towards full forward. Little Menzel is there. Saw the ball dropping short and takes a fine mark. Could he be about 45 metres out? Plays on, brings it up to the forward pocket, trying to find Roberts. It's a real bumping duel down there. It bounces almost through. It bounced back, but through for one behind to Norwood. And that breaks the run of scoring by Richmond, 11-7 to 7-5, 73 to 47. 23 and a half minutes gone. Knocked away by Michael Aney. Adler scouting the pack and picks up the ball well, shoots it back to Menzel. McIntosh, a shot at goal from 35 metres out, is again off target and through for one behind when they badly needed a goal. So that takes them to 48 points, 48 to 73.
We're approaching the 24-minute mark. The ball comes back into play for the Tigers, out there towards centre half back. Lee in front. Got the mark. He's lifted his game in this quarter too, Bob Lee.
Yes, well, I'm sure that he was one of the players that would have been stirred along at half-time, and the whole Richmond side in the last quarter, now 20 minutes, have responded magnificently. Going to the ground that time was Renfrey, trying to break out of the pack, but the umpire's going to ball it up around about the centre half forward area for Richmond, and the score at the moment is 11-7-73 Richmond to Norwood 7-6-48. So we're approaching the time on period of this third quarter as the ball comes out there to Lachlan. Gets the run of the ball back to Renfrey again. Lachlan, they're messing about, and they finally lose it. Ball out of bounds, about 55 metres around from the Richmond goal. It'll be Strawn in front. Ball hits the deck again. Keith Thomas going after, but once again we see another throw-in coming in from that half-forward line for Richmond. Ferring and Strawn. Strawn's a player that's been criticised for the lack of pace, but he's been a pretty handy player. There's Palm getting one right around the neck that time, and he'll take the free kick at half-forward. Has been criticised over the years for the lack of pace, but he's been a very handy player for the Tigers, Strawn, Bob. He's got wonderful courage, Lou, and he's prepared to back into the packs, and when he's coming through, he doesn't get out of anybody's way.
That's Ferring at the back of the pack taking the mark. Goes for a kick, not a good one. Has a chance for Rawlings. It doesn't bounce right, but Rolfe pounces on it. A hand pass back to Rawlings. Picks it up nicely. A long shot at the goals. That's a beautiful kick and a goal. So, at the 25.5-minute mark, the Tigers looking really good now. 12-7-79 to Norwood 7-6-48.
Yes, well, the real run has gone out of the Norwood side as we see Ferring playing on after the mark, but there was nobody out there for him to really kick it to. Rolfe getting the handball into Barry Rawlings, but Norwood, since Keith Thomas has been tagged by his former teammate in David Palm, it has really taken a lot of the drive away from the Norwood side.
2 goals to Rolling, 79 to 48. McIntosh takes it from the centre circle. The short pass up towards half forward. Menzel hasn't got the height to contest with Malthouse. The ladder goes over, looking for a free kick, and will get one for holding the man. Michael Malthouse. There's a cross goal again to Landy. He's been a very good player tonight. Rolfe on centre wing, looking for and finding Mervyn Kane. Kane down to half forward, and Wiley could have almost got a free kick there, but picks it up well. Scoops it out looking for Jess. Tempany is there, runs into plenty of trouble. Into the goal square, Strawn and Noble out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
Free kick, Pete.
Trip against Strawn that time, Pete.
Noble right next to the behind post. It's not a long kick. Luckily, mark taken by Ferring. Well, they got out of that one. Ball back up towards centre field. Plenty of mistakes there. Finally, it's Redshaw. Oh, Roberts got one right behind the neck. Thanks very much. And he'll take the free kick. That certainly staggered him.
Preston's injured too, Pete.
The trainer's rushing out to him at a great rate of knots. Up to full forward now for Norwood. Hasn't been there too often this term. Snapped out to Menzel. A snapshot at goal by the little rover, and he's put it through for full points.
It's a great piece of play by Vardeniger again there, Lou. He tapped that ball on to Menzel, and as we've said a number of times, as Andy Preston gets treatment from the trainer, we've said a number of times that Vardeniger playing his first game. We'll watch on replay now as there it is. He taps it on now to Menzel, who finishes it off. And he may not have the greatest amount of class in the world, but by gee, he certainly puts in.
25 points the difference now. Preston seems to have recovered rather quickly. 79 to 54, still in favour of Richmond. Bumped away by Big Mark Lee. Tempany has it knocked away from him. Picked up by Ferring from the circle. Back it goes to Lachlan. A useful balk. Norwood into attack. Up to half forward. Almost a mark to Lachlan, or had it knocked away. Murray. The Jep. Back to centre field. Knocked away by Scanlon. Aish is there. Gets the ball underneath. Can't get it out. And it will be a bounce on centre wing.
Score at the moment, 79 points, Richmond and Norwood 54, 28 and a half minutes, or just over 28 and a half minutes gone. Lee got the tap down. Finally punched away by Armour, not a good one. Back to Ferring again, but the umpires found a free kick. It'll go to Keith Thomas. Out there on the centre wing position, quickly plays on, trying to get it up there to the full forward zone, but there's no one there, and an easy mark taken there by Murray. Goes right across the goals. It'll be okay. Picked up here by Winton. He's got a paddock to run in if he wants to. One taken he risked on bouncing the ball. He's put it on the carpet. It's a long kick out wide. Looking for Strawn, who taps it on beautifully for Rolfe. He goes over. That gave Greg Thomas a chance to pick it up. His kick is back towards Button, and Winton coming out to meet, but Winton gets there first and takes the mark at half back.
Played pretty well tonight, Lou.
Yes, he's played a fair game, and Landy, as you mentioned before, been a very good defender. Ball back into play again, down towards the half-forward line. And juggling the ball that time is Lachlan, and he takes the mark. The umpires paid this one to the ex-Richmond player. Peter Lachlan out there on the wing position, or half-back. Over to Ferring. Well intercepted that time by the Richmond skipper, Barry Rowlands. A hand pass to Kane. Kane going for goal number 4 as he fires at the goals for Jimmy Jess, but he couldn't reach that one, and it goes through for another point. So it's 12 goals, 80 Richmond to Norwood, 8 goals, 654, and we're just over the 30-minute mark of this third quarter. The siren due to go any tick of the clock for the third quarter. Back towards Ferring and Lee. That's Ferring going over the top of the pack. Picked up by Strawn. Back there towards Wiley on his own. Couldn't quite reach that one, but he's got time to hook it back to Jess. Coming in to meet him is Lachlan. He's grabbed him. He shrugged him off beautifully. Another goal. That's goal number 3 to Jimmy Jess, and the Tigers move on to 13 goals, 886, as we see Francis Burke smiling there. To Norwood, 8 goals, 654.
Well, we've mentioned a few of the Richmond players that have been responsible for the comeback, but Robert Wiley has been right in the thick of things as well. Jimmy Jess showing typical Jess form to shrug off that tackle and finish it off. But Richmond have tightened up across the back line with Winton at centre half back getting right on top of Button, and the players around the packs have now gotten on top, and that's where Norwood were on top in the first half. and Richmond in this quarter taking the game right away.
9 goals in this quarter to Richmond. A fine effort after they trailed early in the term by 16 points. They now lead 86-54. So it's a great comeback by Richmond after they seemed headed for another defeat. Is that a mark? The umpire says yes, it's going Norwood's way, and it will be taken by McIntosh. Over towards Thomas. Aish juggles it. Wasn't paid. Rolling's the chance. Now it goes to one of his teammates down there, and it's snapped back by Lockman to centre wing. Temperty on the run from half forward, shrugs one tackle, loses it the second time to Noble, who likewise is well caught. Kane again, long shot at goal, hit the post. Bad luck for Merv Kane, because it would have been goal number 4 had it not done so. 13-9, 87-86-54.
Well, as we watch the goalpost swinging there, I'm sure Neil Baum would be hoping for the siren at the moment so that he can have a talk to his young side and maybe steady them down.
Warhurst, Lee in front of Ferry, knocked away by Strawn. The players turned around to the umpire looking for a free kick. None was forthcoming. Brought back by Temperty again as the siren does go. For three-quarter time with Richmond in a commanding position, 13-9, 87 to Norwood, 86-54.
There are few more colourful players in the VFL than Richmond's bearded ghost, Jimmy Jess. The former Avoca lad with the walloping kick was all-Australian centre-half forward in 1980. Has played very well at full-back and centre-half back, and in the first round Sterling Cup match, kicked 4 goals against St Kilda from full forward. With 136 games behind him, Jess is one of the Richmond players to watch in the 1983 Sterling
VFL Park, and what a fine quarter by Richmond, as you can see on the quarter-by-quarters there. The Tigers added 9 goals 5 to Norwood 3 goals 3, and remember earlier in that quarter Norwood led by 16 points, and they led by that margin around about the 4.5-minute mark of the term. But from then on in, it was all Richmond. The goal kickers for Richmond, the main ones, 3 to Merv Kane, 3 to Jess, and 2 to Rollings. And for Norwood, Roberts has 2 and Michael Aney has 2 goals.
Yes, well, Richmond certainly hit back there when Norwood kicked 2 goals in 3 minutes. It really looked as though they were right in there with a chance. But I think that 2 quick goals was the thing that spurred the Tigers into their great comeback. And their comeback was led by Rioli, but then he had great assistance from the players around the packs. Although the player in the centre, and that's Keith Thomas, was a bit quiet in that quarter, and took him about half of the quarter to really get into his straps again with Palm tagging him. Then he did become a better player again then. But it was the Richmond small men, led by Rioli, who there we see giving it across to Matthew Wall, and that was a great goal by Matt Wall. And all in all, it was the smaller players of the Richmond players who responded to the occasion, and they started running. Rollings, we saw on a couple of occasions, running right down the wing. They got their handball going, and Merv Kane finished it off with 3 goals. Jimmy Jess in the square on a couple of occasions. But we're watching now highlights of the early part of the game, and it was Neville Roberts who kicked 2 early goals there. Palm getting the ball back to Barry Rollings, and here a great goal by Rollings. Rollings himself has kicked 2 goals, and as well as that, Jess 3 and Kane 3. They've been the main goal kickers for the Tigers. But it was a great piece of play in the third term when Richmond really showed that they were capable of playing a quick flow-on game, and up to that stage it was a quick flow-on game that really had them struggling, and so the Richmond defence really did tighten in that quarter. They made it very hard for Norwood to get it past the half-forward line. Winton responded greatly and did a great job at centre-half back, and we see Winton coming away now, getting the ball across to Palm, and Palm here. A hand pass across to Rollings, likewise to Kane, and Mervyn Kane kicking one of his 3 goals.
Right, well, Stephen Phillips has a report for us on the boundary line. Stephen? No, he's not ready for us. All right. We're just about set for the final term now here. Checking the three-quarter time scores. It's 13-10 to 8-6. 88-54 in favour of Richmond. Big punch away by Lee. And the umpire has found a free kick, though. Getting decked was Ferring. Now it's going to be a free kick downfield, is it? Rawlings has it.
Must have been against Fairing,
Must have been a game. He was on the ground, so he was jostling with Lee, and it went against him. Rawlings takes the free, up towards half forward. Jess, Wiley, snapshot at goal with kick number 13, and it's unlucky for him through 4-1 behind. So the Tigers off to a good start in the final term, 89 to 54, a difference of 35 points. Ball comes back into play. Lee and Ferring again jostling. Off the hands of Wiley. A chance for Palm. McIntosh is right there with him. So too is Rioli. Hand pass to Mervyn Kane. Goal number 4 if he's accurate, but he's hooked it badly. Over to Jess, who marked right on the boundary line. Well, Jimmy Jess's goals have come from very close in. This one is likewise, but a fair angle there. Let's see how he handles it. That's not bad. Great shot for goal by Jess. Goal number 4. That's just what Norwood didn't want, Bob.
One might say when things are going for you, Pete, you kick them from everywhere. And that's the sort of goal that when you really need it, and in Norwood in this case, it was the other end of the ground, it would probably have gone through for a point. But Jimmy Jess can do no wrong at the moment. 4 goals, 2 on the board. And as you said, a couple of them from the goal square on the end of good pieces of play. But that certainly was a lovely goal.
41 points the difference now in the final term in favour of the Tigers, looking set for a berth in the semi-finals of the Sterling Cup, knocked away by Ferring. He tries to get the hand pass clear, well tackled by Landy. The umpire says it will be a bounce at centre circle.
Just on the 2-minute mark now, Richmond 95 points to Norwood 54, 41 points the difference. Lee a big punch out there towards the wing position, finally picked up by Adderley, threw that back towards Lachlan, a short kick. And there'll be a chance now for them to go back into attack. That's Vardeniga driving it back over the half-forward line. Button got his hands to it, couldn't hold the mark. Finally picked up by Whitten, who hasn't played a bad game tonight either down there on that back line. Out it goes to Adler again at the half-forward line for Norwood, but it's finally forced out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on the Norwood half-forward line, about 75 metres around from their goal. It'll be Ferring and Big Lee to go for this knockout, and Lee has lifted his game since half-time, and that's made a bit of the difference. He's brought quite a few of the running players in. Plenty of fumbling going on as Roberts drives it back towards the forward pocket. It's punched on by Armott, and the ball goes out of bounds up towards the forward pocket position. Still about 45 metres around from the Norwood goal. Richmond defence is tightened up, and, of course, their running players are moving all over the place. And the Norwood's really feeling the pinch now as a hand pass comes out from Ace. Picked up again on that boundary line, but the umpire said it's out of bounds as Roberts was ready to streak away. They've had him well covered in that last quarter. Looked a very dangerous player in the first half. Lee got the ball down to Rioli. He's grabbed, picked up by Menzel. Gets out of the pack nice as he drives it up there towards Michael Lane. He got his hands to it, couldn't hold the mark. He's got a chance to pick it up, and he goes down. They pounce on top of him. The ball comes out again. Good play on the part of Armott. Finally over to Menzel again. A chance for Greg Thomas to fire at the goals. He's put it through. A good goal. Just over 4 minutes gone. 14-11-95. Richmond to Norwood 9-6-60. There's a chance now for the Tigers to go deep into attack through Palmer. Oh, it's well tackled by Neagle. A hand pass going out there to Wiley at half forward. Hooks the ball back looking for his skipper Rawlings. And he doesn't let him down and takes the mark about 40 metres out from goal.
Barry Rawlings between forward pocket and right half forward flank. A little bit further out from where Jimmy Jess scored the Tigers' last goal. But the angle would be just about the same, I should think. Rawlings has kicked 2 goals so far this evening. And that's also going very close. Just shaved the post, indicates the goal umpire. So the scoreboard on the Sterling Cup now shows Richmond 96 and Norwood 60, a difference of 36 points in favour of the Tigers. 5 minutes gone in the final term, so the Redlegs certainly have the job in front of them if they're to get up and win this match. Knocked away by McIntosh, a chance for Thomas down there. Gets it back to Lachlan, who's in plenty of bother. Subsequently loses the ball. The umpire has found a free kick. It's going Richmond's way for holding the ball, I guess, and the recipient will be Palm. Short pass. Big Lee takes it. 3 grabs. Holding the man. Lee about 45 to 50 metres out from goal. Elects to go for the short pass. Menzel chips in, couldn't quite take the mark. Wiley, snapshot at goal. That one's not bad. He's hooked it through with the left foot. So 2 goals to Wiley. Richmond kicking them from everywhere now. 15-12, 102, 9-6-60.
Yes, well, Mark Lee did very well there to make position, and the pass, Menzel almost took the mark, but roving perfectly, Robert Wiley. He really knows where the goals are once he gets an opportunity.
Well, that's 14 kicks to Wiley and a number of hand passes as well.
About eight or nine hand passes.
So he would be very close to best on the ground, certainly statistically speaking anyway. Ferring and Lee, 42 points the difference. Oh, it's an errant bounce, and Lee runs away with it. Ball up towards half forward, too long for Lachlan. Wiley is there again. Oh, beautifully on the run. He could score another one here. The hand pass to Tempany. Tempany from the square. Snapshot is true, and the Tigers go further ahead. 2 goals to Tempany.
Bob, I know they're kicking the goals, but since Lee has lifted his game at half-time, it's made the world of difference to the Tigers.
Yes, well, the General, as he's commonly known, has had a great season this year, and I think he responded to the fact that he was beaten in the first half, and since that, well, probably a rubbish may have come from Francis Burke at half-time, and then Mark Lee has really responded, and that's just what you expect from your number 1 ruckman.
Mark certainly takes a long run at that centre bounce. He's back about 30 metres compared with Ferring. Now he comes in to go across for the knockout. He's got it out again. Coming in to meet it is Tempany over to Andy Preston. He goes down. And the umpire will pay a free kick to Preston against Gallagher. A hand pass back to big Mark Lee. It's a long kick up there towards Jimmy Jess and Warhurst. Jimmy Jess backing into him. The ball hits the deck again. Warhurst is after him, but he's finally picked it up. A hand pass back to Keith Thomas, who's faded out a little bit as Warhurst finally kicks the ball out there looking for his little mate Neagle. He doesn't let him down. He takes the mark at half back. Score here is 16-12, 108. Richmond and Norwood 9-6-60. Just on the 8-minute mark. Ball back there towards the centre wing position. Punched out that time by Michael Laney. Grabbed by Menzel. He's slung to the ground. Michael Laney went between his legs. And, oh, that was thrown out, and the umpire's found a free kick. He says no, as Menzel tries to scoot off. But the free kick will go out there to Ahmad. Ahmad to take the free kick out on the centre wing position for Norwood. Well, the pep's gone out of Norwood, but they certainly played well for about 2 quarters and a bit, because they actually led by 16 points at the 4-minute mark of this 3rd quarter. But the Tigers have played very well from the 3rd quarter onwards. There's a great mark to witness. We mentioned before, he's been a pretty good player down there in defence for the Tigers. I'll say this kid's got a big future in front of him in league football. Over to Mickey Malthouse. Wall is there in the thick of things. Out goes Greg Thomas. It's picked up here now by Michael Laney. Doesn't know what to do with it. A hand pass put his mate under pressure that time, Keith Thomas. Wall spins beautifully out of the pack. It's driven up there towards half forward now, up towards Wiley, but outmanoeuvred that time by Renfrey, and Renfrey takes the mark around about the centre half back position for Norwood. They're trailing by 48 points at the moment. Short kick to Ferry. He was a very effective player, particularly in the first half, this big fella, the ex-St Kilda and Geelong player. Mark Lee in the middle of things, couldn't hold that mark. Roberts gets a hand pass out. There's a chance now for the ball to be driven up there by Keith Thomas, looking for Ace. Been a pretty quiet player. Picked up on the pocket there by Lockman. Lockman's kick is back towards the half-back line. Punched away that time by Jepp. Bit of fumbling going on as Armott knocks it out now to McIntosh. McIntosh scoots away that time from Rolfe. A long kick, but Landy's in the way, and he's been a very effective player because he certainly had Ace covered all night. Ace was the real star the last time they played here against Footscray. Ball back into play again. Button couldn't hold that mark. Oh, Menzel gets into a bit of trouble, then slung to the ground, and the umpire will ball it up about 50 metres out from the Norwood goal.
I think Ace won our award for best on the ground, didn't he?
I think he did, yes. But you've got to give full marks to Lee. Besides that, Bobby's picked up kicks himself, hasn't he?
Yes, he's done a fine job, Lou.
Thumped away by Lee, some good 30 metres. Rioli picks the ball up. The umpire has found a free kick in the meantime for, I presume, a push in the back. Adler takes it at right half forward flank. Not a bad kick too by Adler, almost into the 10-metre square. Landy again, just about everywhere. Roberts almost trapped that one. He's got a second chance. Landy arguably could have pushed him in the back. He's ridden into the ground, certainly. And it will be a bounce, only about 15 metres out from goal. 108 to 60, a 48-point advantage in favour of Richmond. Button is there. And a free kick, holding the ball. I can't even see who's got it.
You could say Button came undone then, couldn't you?
Yes, very, very much. Could be embarrassing. Malthouse to half-back. Oh, McIntosh a juggle. And he's been paid the mark. Short pass. And looking for Menzel. He can't raise a gallop. He's limping. Winton is there. Taps the ball over the boundary line. And it'll be thrown into play in the left forward pocket. Knocked away by Michael Aney. Very close to the boundary line. And in fact, it's gone over the boundary line. And so we'll see a throw in almost in the identical position, probably about 5 metres closer to goal.
Lee about to come off. Foley on, Pete.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Foley tonight. Can only presume that's a precautionary measure.
Well, he's done the job since half-time. I suppose he's given him a well-earned rest, Bob.
Yes, no doubt. And also give Foley a taste of what's really going on out there.
So again, the boundary throw-in knocked away by Button, and trying to find Menzel. He's only knocked it about 5 metres closer to goal again. So once more, it'll be a boundary throw-in. Will certainly suit Richmond, having the play bottled up there, and Foley gets his first touch for the night. It's tapped out, knocked away by Rioli. Preston over to Foley again. So 2 touches in the space of about 10 or 15 seconds. Foley's kick over centre field. Rollings tries some soccer tactics. Position being made by Wiley. Rollings backs up again. Wiley comes in to assist him. Big Fearing is there. Oh, beautifully stolen. That was Temperley. The umpire says a free kick. I couldn't see what that was for, but it's going to be taken out there by Renfrey.
Yeah, it was a push in the back to Renfrey. Actually, it was behind play as we see Renfrey drive the ball, or get ready to drive the ball out towards the wing position. Noble couldn't hold that mark. Foley's there too. Finally, there's nearly a push in the back to Richmond's Landy, but the umpire said that he'll play a free kick. This time it'll go to Michael Acey up there on the centre wing position. So Landy's stuck with him all night, and kicks have been scarce for the Norwood champion. I think he's had 5 kicks up to this stage of the match. Picked up by Rolfe. A hand pass coming back to Landy, too long. Picked up by Foley, over to Landy again. Clash with Ace. Back it goes to Ahmed. And the umpire said there'll be a ball up out there on the centre wing position. So the score at the 13.5-minute mark of the last quarter, it's 16-12, 108 Richmond to Norwood 9-6, 60. Knocked out that time by the big fellow, Fearing. Over it goes to Vardenega. Fumbling the ball was Neagle. This gives a chance here now for the hand pass to come out from Palm over to Preston. Back it goes now to Lockman. And the Tigers go back into attack. As a beautiful pass and a terrific mark taken there by Jimmy Jess. He's at centre half forward, about 50 metres out, and he's already kicked 4 goals. Goes for the pass, looking for Wiley. It bounces the wrong way, and it bounced the wrong way for Renfrey. This gives Wiley an open break and fires. He's put it through for a goal. Well, that's what you call bad luck that time, Bob.
Well, a bit of both, Lou, because the bounce was bad for Wiley in the first place. He actually was 5 to 10 metres clear when Jess put the ball out in front of him, and it was Wiley who originally got the bad bounce, only to see another bad bounce come in for the form of Renfrey. But when I say a bad bounce, Renfrey really overran the ball. I think he was concentrating more on the fact that he thought Wiley was going to get it.
14.5 minutes gone. 17-12, 114. Richmond and Norwood 9-6, 60. So the Tigers go into the semi-final for sure against Hawthorn. Picked up on Preston from Strawn. Over to Rioli. A pass down there looking for Wiley again. Got his hands to it. The ball's punched out towards Jess. Back to Wiley again. Playing a great game tonight. He would be in strong contention with the best player on the grounds. It's finally picked up by Scanlon. Out towards the wing position. Foley there too. Couldn't get it. It hits the deck. Coming in to meet it as Ace. They pounce on top of him. Rioli's there too. And the umpire, I think, will ball it up out there at half forward for Richmond, about 65 metres out from their goal.
Richmond leading by 54 points at this stage of the final term. As umpire Des Foster puts the ball down. And Rioli coming off the ground. He's certainly done his job well and truly for Richmond. Gathered a lot of kicks around the ground. And certainly it has been one of Richmond's best players. Up to half forward, gee, going down solidly there was Roberts. And umpire Foster has indicated it will be a free kick. And Roberts is in a good deal of bother. Let's take a look at that again.
Certainly a free kick all the way.
No doubt about that.
It's what you call earning your kick, isn't it?
I'll say.
It's a lovely way to receive a pass too. You're praying to God, saying, please get this over with quickly before they get on top of me, Bob. You can hear them coming from about 500 yards back, can't you?
Here's one more look at it.
Look at it. Oh.
Well, and truly against Murray.
You just sit there waiting for Pete to happen.
The hospital pass. Rocky having to live up to his nickname after that bump. He's 40 metres out from goal. Right into the 10-metre square and fisted away. Out of bounds, actually. Roberts not too happy with the kick. And still talking to the trainer out there. He seems to be okay. I guess he's seeing a few stars nevertheless. Boundary throw in adjacent to the behind post. Ferring palms it down, almost got it into the arms of Malthouse though. Picked up by Little Menzel and a snapshot going right across goal. Murray is there. We'll look for a hand pass. Does it effectively. Winton. Long kick around the boundary line up towards centre wing. Hand pass again. Back it goes to Jepp. 3 grabs and Jeff has taken the mark. Jeff at right half-back flank.
Played pretty well since he's joined the Tigers this year, Bob. Jeff.
He struggled early in the season, Lou. I think he's starting to play a little bit better now.
Jeff at right half-back flank. Lachlan and his opposite number 19, Strawn, beats him to it. Strawn with a long kick trying to find Jess, almost grabbed the mark. Warhurst right on his back, and the umpire says holding the man, and Jimmy Jess has the free kick right on the boundary line. Jess has already kicked 4 goals and he threaded one through from here earlier in this quarter. Might have been just a little bit closer in. I think he's over the boundary line as he's standing at the moment. He's going to try a banana kick, is he, or a short pass? It's the latter, looking for Wiley, one of Richmond's best players. Warhurst is there, can't find the ball, getting tripped up. Out there is Keith Thomas, and he takes the free kick, brings it across goal. Almost a mark to Rolfe, who puts his head down. The umpire says an illegal tackle. Rolfe to take the free kick.
He's about 55 metres out from goal, directly in front. 114 points, Richmond to Norwood 60, just on the 18.5-minute mark. And there'll be a free kick somewhere along the line. It'll go to Michael Laney at full back. Kick by Michael Laney is out there towards the outer side of the ground, a half back. Bardeniger's there too, but he can't get clear and the ball is out of bounds. So it's out of bounds on that half-forward line for Richmond, about 65, 70 metres around from their goal. Foley coming in for the knockout against Michael Laney. Foley replaced Lee, who was a good player, particularly from half-time after being down a bit in the first half, and he certainly helped the Tigers to come back into play. Neagle to take the free kick out there for Norwood at half-back. Neagle's kick is up towards the wing position. Ball punched away again by Richmond as we see Menzel grab, didn't have the ball. A hand pass comes out there to Adler, and taking it away now is Landy. Landy's kick is up over the half-forward line. Coming in to meet it now was Renfrey, couldn't pick it up. Preston's there, into his back is Neagle. A bit of fumbling going on by both sides as Strawn tries to give a hand pass out. Back it comes again. And finally we see Michael Laney give a hand pass to the wrong man. It's Kane kicking it down there towards Jess. But Warhurst goes to Warhurst, I had to say it, goes for the knockout. And it's finally picked up here again by Renfrey. Well, it was only a matter of time before I said it. They were betting on it here. Finally, it comes out now, and we see McIntosh going for a short pass out there to Greg Thomas on that half-back line for Norwood. A long kick out towards their half-forward line, but there's Richmond still backing up well as we see Jepp get a hand pass back there. Another one coming back to Jepp again. Over it goes to Rolfe. He was grabbed a bit high, but intercepting well is McIntosh. A left-foot kick down towards the half-forward line. It hits the deck. Going for the boundary line and out of bounds. Out of bounds about 50 metres around from the Norwood goal. And the score 17-12, 114 Richmond to Norwood 9-6-60. at the 20.5-minute mark of this last quarter. Be desperate for the Tigers, but they've certainly bounced back. They're really on top now as it comes out to Rolfe out there at half-back. Gets it back to Fowl. That's a nice pick-up for the big guy from Western Australia. Out to Landy. Landy, as we mentioned before, has had Ace well covered. And it's Mickey Malthouse driving the ball back there towards the Richmond half-forward line. Jimmy Jess out to meet it. And it's out of bounds on that half-forward line for the Tigers, about 60 metres around from their goal. 17-13, 115 Richmond to Norwood 9-6-60. Just on the 25-minute mark of this last quarter, and the Tigers will go into the semi-final to play Hawthorn. So it'll be a ball up again out there at half-forward. Richmond have had many good players since half-time. Of course, they've taken Lee off the ground and Rioli's gone off. Both played very, very well, particularly after half-time. He's lifted the Tigers and brought a lot of their small running players into the game. Wiley's had many kicks. Jimmy Jess has kicked 4 goals up to this stage of the match. I think Kane's kicked 3 and Wiley's kicked 3. So they've had plenty of goal kickers as the ball comes back to the boundary line. Button tries to scoop it back, but it's out of bounds on the centre wing position. Just on the 26-minute mark, it'll be Button against Foley. Well, Foley scooped that one down. We see Adler trying to get clear. Foley goes in again. He's certainly got a bit of a go about him, Foley, and the umpire said it'll be a ball up again. Oh, it's a free kick going out here now to Adler out there on the centre wing position, or is it it's Roberts? Roberts to take the free kick as he boots it high back over the half-forward line. Punching the ball away is Landy. Grabbed by Jepp. A hand pass back to Foley again. Over it goes to Mickey Malthouse. Got a touch of the fumbles, but may have got one in the back. Yes, the South Australian umpire agrees with that and gives the free kick. A short pass coming over there now as we see Landy go for a pass, but the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position again. Neither side making much progress at the moment, but the game's all over bar the shouting. 17-13, 115 Richmond and Norwood 9-6-60. 26.5 minutes gone of the last quarter.
Knocked away by Winton. Armat diving into the back of an opponent. The ball scooped into the open spaces. Foley, long handball. Ace intercepting. And a very high kick, which Palm tries to mark unsuccessfully. Taken away down there by Keith Thomas. In towards the goal. Here's a goal coming up. Shoots, and he's put it through. So Thomas, that's Keith bringing up his first goal. Greg Thomas has kicked 2. But it's only a formality now, a Tiger win with probably a couple of minutes left to play.
Keith Thomas showing a beautiful piece of skill there as he was running in towards the goal and about to get tackled from directly on, and a beautiful sidestep, almost a la Reg Gasnier rugby style as he went sideways and then went on and put the ball right through the centre.
Reg Gasnier, where you been for the last 20 years?
115 to 66. He's a mate of Bob's.
He must be listening to the telecast, is he?
No, he's not.
Short pass by Bardeniger out towards centre wing. Driven forward by Adler. And Mark taken at right half-back flank by Jepp.
You'd have said Dave McNamara. I'd have gone along with you.
Very close to the boundary line. Adler can't get there before it's over. Yes, it's still in play. Neagle, there's almost a touchdown. But it will be a free kick. Lockman has the free kick on right centre wing. 115 to 66 the scoreboard. A knock on by Egan. And he'll take the free kick at right centre wing. Looking for Robert Wiley and taking a safe chest mark. Wiley about 40 metres from goal. Could get a 15-metre penalty. And that brings him well within kicking distance. Wiley has kicked 3 goals. And a chance to make it 4 as we approach the siren time. He's done just that. A very straight kick for goal is Mr. Wiley. So 4 goals to him, 4 goals to Jimmy Jess. They're the leading goal kickers for Richmond, 18-13 to 10-6.
Yes, well, Robert Wiley certainly has made a big difference to the side, primarily playing from the forward pocket in this second half, and he really has made position beautifully. He's kicked 4 goals himself and given away a couple more with a good handball. He's been a very active player around that Richmond forward line.
29 and a half minutes have gone. Final term. Fearing, just got his fingertips to it. Egan is in there. Likewise, Rolfe for Richmond. And umpire Rowan Soares has decided to get on the bounce. So the semi-final lineup will be North Melbourne and Carlton, and Richmond to play Hawthorn. They all missed it. Palm fumbles. In goes Thomas. I think a free kick to him, which he will take just wide of the circle. Puts it high towards right half forward flank, looking for his brother, who can't take the mark. Menziv is in there. Gets a push in the back. And for which offence, he will also take a free kick right half forward flank as the siren goes to end the match here at the 21, defeating Norwood 10-6-66.
Well,
The $475,000 Sterling Cup under the lights of VFL Park Waverley. Sensational football. Best player on the ground award tonight. Let's go down to the Tiger dressing room. Here's Jack Edwards.
Thank you very much, Peter. Well, Rob, congratulations. You won the National Panasonic Best Man on the Ground award this evening.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jack. I'd just like to thank all the commentators for putting me best on the ground, but I think there was many contributors out there, and after half-time we really got together and paved the way for a great win.
I'm glad you mentioned after half-time, but what happened before half-time?
Well, we started off pretty well, Jack. We kicked 3 goals before Norwood had kicked a goal, but then they rallied, and full credit to them. They played very well in that second quarter, and they probably deserved to have a lead at half-time, but, you know, we just put our thinking caps on at half-time, and especially after Saturday's game against Melbourne, we thought we'd do something about it, and we did so.
Well, up to, say, 5 minutes into the third quarter when Norwood got 16 points up, it looked like you were in lots of bother, and all of a sudden your boys must have realised that you could lose this game.
Yes, well, that's true, and I think it started from the centre, and Mark Lee sort of played a big part in it, and then Mervyn Kane kicked 2 very good goals for us, and that just sort of triggered us, and we didn't look back from there.
Well, there's your stats for this evening's performance, Rob. You've had 17 kicks, 5 marks, 10 handballs and 2 free kicks, but you also gave a couple of those hand passes produced goals for Richmond.
Oh, well, that's part of the team football, and, you know, you've got to give the ball. I received it enough, and I'll give it out a few times too, but, you know, we've sort of all put in, and it was a great win for us.
Well, at half-time, it wasn't a very happy room. I did tell the viewers that there was a very, very morbid room down here.
Yes, Jack. Well, you know, as I said before, we were pretty dejected after getting to the front early and then sort of losing it, and I think all the boys just thought, well, we've got to do something about it, and the only way to do it is out on the field, and you know, we just concentrated on that and very determined in the second half.
Well, you can't make the final 5 for 83, but you certainly can make the final of the Sterling Cup.
Oh yes, I mean, there's still 9 games to go in the season, and we'll be trying to win all of them, and obviously too we've got a chance in the night football game, and we'll be striving really hard to get to the finals.
Well, Rob, congratulations once again from National Panasonic. You've certainly done well.
Thanks very much, Jack, and I'd like to thank National for making this award available, and I'll certainly put it to good use.
And that takes us out from VFL Park. We hope you have enjoyed the telecast tonight. Just repeating the lineup for the semi-finals. It will be North Melbourne against Carlton, and now Richmond against Hawthorn in the semi-finals of the 1983 Sterling Cup. The main goal kickers for Richmond, Wiley got 4, Kane 3, Jess 4, and Tempany 2. And for Norwood, it was 2 goals to Greg Thomas, 2 to Roberts, and 2 to Michael Laney. Peter Landy on behalf of Lou Richards, Rob Skilton, Jack Edwards, Stephen Phillips, our director, Alf Potter and crew, and a very good evening to viewers through ADS Channel 7.